Hello everyone, I'm your biology teacher. In this video, you are going to study Chapter 8, Human Body, Nervous System. Learning objectives of this chapter are nervous system of human beings, nerves, neuron, central nervous system, and reflex action. So let's begin. Vertebrates such as amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals, including human beings, are made up of several body systems. And these all the body systems are working in coordination and which is brought about by the proper functioning of nervous system. I repeat, all vertebrates such as fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals, including we are, that means human beings, are made up of several body systems. And you already know that what are the body systems, and this body systems working in coordination and which is brought about by the proper functioning of nervous system. So you have already learned that in higher organisms, the nervous systems provide the fastest means of communication within the body so that suitable responses to stimuli can be made at once. In this chapter, you are going to learn more about the nervous system of human beings. Nervous system of human beings. The nervous system of human beings controls functioning of our internal organs, movements, perceptions, and even our thoughts and emotions. The nerve coordination in the human being is brought about by the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. Each nerve constitutes by some specialized cells, and the name of the cells are called neurons. So look at that. What is the definition of nerves? Nerves are the bundle of nerve fibers. And these are the pathways of electrical impulses. And these impulses travel from the brain and spinal cord to different parts of the body. Nerves are the bundles of nerve fibers. And these are the pathways of electrical impulses that travels from the brain and spinal cord to different parts of the body. And look at that. What are the types of nerves? The types of nerves are motor nerves, sensory nerves, and mixed nerves. So three types of nerves are there. Motor nerves. The other name of motor nerves is afferent nerves. These nerves carry impulses from the receptor organs such as eyes, tongue, etc. towards the brain. So these nerves carry impulses. That means motor nerves carry impulses from the brain to the affector organs. Then next is sensory nerves. And the other name of sensory nerves are afferent nerves. And these nerves, that means sensory nerves, are carrying impulses from the receptor organs such as eyes, tongue, etc. towards the brain. So first one is motor nerves or afferent nerves. These nerves carry impulses from the brain to the affector organs. The affector organs are muscles and glands. And sensory nerves means these nerves are carrying impulses from the receptor organs towards the brain. And the receptor organs are here, eyes, tongue, etc. Then Next is mixed nerves. Mixed nerves means the nerves that function as both as motor nerves and sensory nerves. Mixed nerves means that functions both as motor nerves and sensory nerves. And the example of mixed nerves is all cranial nerves. That means nerves are arising from the brain, and spinal cord. That means that nerves are arising from the spinal cord. So these are the examples of mixed nerves. Mixed nerves that function both as motor nerves and sensory nerves. Next is neurons. Look at that. What is the definition of neurons? A nerve is composed of millions of structural and functional units. And these millions of structural and functional units are called neurons. And the structure of motor neuron is mentioned here in figure 8.2. And this structure, that means this diagram, labeling the parts of the structure is very important. So let's look at what is the structure of this neuron and what are the parts are there and function of each part. As we know that all the motor nerves are carrying impulses from the brain to different body parts. Therefore, the neurons also constitute them are called motor neurons. So, structure of a motor neuron is here. A motor neuron is a highly specialized cell for responding to stimuli, and it consists of the following parts are here: cell body, dendrites, and axon. Then, first one is cell body. The other name of cell body is cytosol. It is the largest part of neuron. It contains nucleus. Look at the figure. It is the largest part of neuron. That means cell body or cytosol is the largest part of the neuron, and this contains nucleus, and this is embedded in the cytoplasm. Then, like any other eukaryotic cell, cell bodies also possess cell organelles like that, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, and so on. So next is dendrites. These are the short protoplasmic branches and receive impulses from other neurons and transfer them towards the cell body. Then next one is axon. One of the dendrite grows very large. Look at the figure. One of the dendrite grows very large in comparison to other, and this becomes an axon. And each axon ends in an axon ending, and it carries impulses away from the cell body. These are the main structures of a motor neuron. And table 8.1 is also showing here, and this table is showing the differences between sensory neuron and motor neuron. Let's look at sensory neuron and motor neuron. Sensory neuron conducts impulses towards the brain and spinal cord, but motor neurons that transmits impulses away from the brain and spinal cord. And sensory neurons takes information from the receptor organs, but motor neurons brings information towards an effector organ. And sensory neuron picks up the information from the dendrites, and motor neuron picks up information from the axon terminal. So these are the main difference between sensory neuron and motor neuron. So now we are going to discuss about types of neurons. Neurons can be classified on the basis of whether they carry information towards or away from the neural centers of the nervous system. According to that, there are three types. First one is afferent or sensory neuron. Second is efferent neurons or motor neurons. And third one is association neurons. So let's look at what's the definition of these three types of neurons. Afferent or sensory neurons. These neurons are transmitting impulses from the receptors to the brain. And efferent neurons or motor neurons, they are transmitting outgoing impulses from the brain to the effectors. Association neurons, they transmit impulses from one neuron to another without touching each other, and they communicate through synapses. So these are the types of neurons. And before the functions of neurons, we already discussed about that. They are association neurons, that they are communicating through synapse. So we are going to discuss something about synapse. Synapse means impulses do not cease at the end of a single neuron. They are passed on to another cell, which is either another neuron or unaffected. And there is always a small gap between two neurons. And such a gap is called synapse. I repeat, that impulses do not cease at the end of a single neuron, and they are passed on to another cell or another neuron or an effector, and there is always a small gap between these two neurons, and such gap is called synapse. And synapse is a very small gap between two neurons or between a neuron and an effector, or the terminal branches of one neuron and dendrites of the next neurons. And this gap is filled with the one chemical, and the name of the chemical is neurotransmitter. And which allows, this neurotransmitter is also having one function which allows the message to be transmitted from one neuron to the next. So let's discuss about the functions of neurons. This is the last topic of this video, and after this topic, then the topic of the chapter will be continued in the next video. Okay, look at that, the last topic, functions of neurons. The neurons transmit messages in the form of nerve impulses, that is from the brain to other parts of the body. The nervous system of human beings includes three types of systems, and the short form of the systems are CNS, PNS, and ANS. And look at that, what are they? CNS means central nervous system, and second one PNS, that means peripheral nervous system, and last one is ANS, autonomic nervous system. But from these three, in this chapter, we will study about the central nervous system only. I repeat, the neurons transmit messages in the form of nerve impulses from the brain to other parts of the body, and the nervous system of human beings included three types of systems: central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and autonomic nervous system. And in this chapter, we will study about the central nervous system only. Okay, I'm going to winding up this video. So we will see, or we will continue this chapter in the next video. Thank you.